So I'm not able to record. Certainly it doesn't seem like it's erasing. I did look up online and it looks like when you have it set to record, it's kind of a one-step process where there's something that comes up to erase or clear the wire, and then you record on top of it. So certainly it's not being erased, that's for sure. If it's being recorded, it's being recorded at a very, very low volume. What I'd like to do is try to fix this so it goes up and down better, when especially during rewind, so you have a good spool. So I'm not even sure what to unscrew. There are a couple of screws on the side and on the bottom. I think I'm going to try to do these 4 screws in the hope that this plate kind of comes up and I can see what's going on underneath here. So the screws came out easy. Plate came right off, and this is what I see. At the moment, there's nothing super obvious. Loosen this screw to take the cover off of the head. It's really hard to see what's going on here, but that's the opening that the wire goes through. So in terms of erasing it, again, the description was a magnet, would erase it when you press record. It must obviously be an electromagnet. I was imagining some kind of physical magnet being raised up, but there's nothing, no such thing here. I don't know if I should release this plate. I have the 4 switches off. And these things they're really cool, by the way. They may be Bakelite, I'm not sure. Looks like now I have to loosen these bolts as well, and then these screws to see what I got. Just used a plier to loosen these up. They came off pretty easy. And then this piece had to come off from the top of here so that I will now be able to hopefully be able to slide off this plate. So look how beautiful that is. I mean, I love that. That's kind of Art Deco. I was able to slide it out, kind of pull it out. I had a fiddle, kind of do one button down first, get it over there part way, and then do the other button, and it was able to work. This is some kind of screen, and it's quite dirty. All right, so I'm going to take a different tack. I'm going to remove the 4 screws down here and the screws on the side, hoping I can release this case and look underneath. I did get the base off by removing those 6 screws. Dirty. I can clean it up. Look at that. Oh my God, that's disgusting. This is the control mechanism for record and play. There's a chance that there's some buildup in there that's stopping a connection being made when I turn it to record. I can spray it with some deoxit, but honestly, as I look at it, it's not obviously, corroded. Truth is, when I look at things that are kind of sketchy, things like that, and again, I think these are capacitors. And I know that electronics people, who know what they're talking about are probably dying that I'm touching this and turning it on without replacing those. I know they always say to recap things. I don't even know what that means. Don't know how to do it. I don't even know for a fact these are capacitors. I just want to use it. I want to try it. Look in the back, you get some sense of what makes the head go up and down. This arm here is attached by like a worm gear to this. So as this turns, this will slowly turn that gear, which will make this arm go up and down. There's no obvious defect. There's some springs. Maybe that spring is loose, but I don't know exactly why it's not going up and down as it should. So what I'm going to attempt to do is get a look at what this arm is doing. So there it's going up. That worm gear is what's making that arm go up and down. It's actually not really pushing it down though. So I think that's the problem. So it goes up, but then it's not strong enough to push it down because it can go all that way down. So for some reason, it's not pushing itself all the way down. So it looks like it's going better. It's going most, if not all the way down and back up. What I did was I used some Q-tips, cleaned out a bunch of gunk right along this edge where it goes through, passes through, and down here as well. And then I used some oil 3-in-1 to kind of lubricate that. So that's working better. So that should definitely help with the movement of the wire up and down, so it's less likely to be tangled. Have it on rewind, and you can see that piece going up and down very nicely. It should wind it much, much better. With that piece working, moving up and down during play and rewind, you can see the difference. This one on the right, it wasn't working quite right, and you can see that, I don't know, I might have ruined it because it's certainly not evenly spooled. This one is evenly spooled and it's much cleaner. So that piece is important. I tried recording again after cleaning off those contacts for the record listen button with Deoxit. It made no improvement. It certainly didn't erase the music that was there. It is certainly not recording. The one thing I'm not sure about is if the microphone itself works. And again, I know dangerously little. But I know, generally speaking, if I'm testing for continuity, and I put like the black lead there, and then I carefully touch the middle tip, it'll show continuity. There's a little continuity for that one too. So again, that's without it turned on, just to show you what I'm using. This is like one of those old computer microphones. So I kind of expect the same thing to happen here, that if I connect this here, I should get continuity on one of these. But no matter where I touch it, no continuity. So, and again, I can do this, obviously. Oops, and I just touched that, so that's the reason you saw a spike in the number. But no matter what, just for shits and giggles. So the microphone itself might be problematic. It looks like the only thing I can do is open this up and see what's going on in here, so I guess I will do that. I got the pieces off, but this still won't. I think this top part should kind of pop out, but there's this there that I think is holding it in, so now I gotta try to pop that out somehow. Got it out. I kept playing with it. I used the tip of a needle nose plier. I grabbed that head, that small little head of the pin as much as I could and just twisted it. You can see it's kind of a screw, but it's a weird thing. It's not like the typical screws. Hopefully I can pull this thing out and take a look at it. Looks like it should come. So first look. So I did check continuity from here to here where it's attached, and it was fine. And from here to here, and it's also fine. So now I guess there's a question about whether the microphone itself is bad. And there's a couple screws, so I will continue to dismantle this and see if I can find it. I've gotten inside, took out this screw, and was able to get this up and out. And so I'm going to test continuity to see if that's getting to here and here. So continuity is fine between these prongs and these two spots. Again, maybe something in the actual microphone, but God help me. I know that there is a connection between here and these two leads, but between these two spots, you're going to see there's nothing. There's no connection. If I do something similar on this random speaker I have, and I know this is a speaker and this is a microphone, but my understanding is they basically work under the same principle. If I do this, you see that there is in fact a connection. So somewhere in here, I think there's a coil that leads from here to the other side. So to me, this is saying that somehow this coil is broken. I don't know if I can even get this black thing off to get into what I believe is a coil in there. And if it is broken, like what the hell am I gonna do about that? So I just pulled this thing out of here and, hoping to see something. And it's this, like, what the hell? I can't get to anything that I could actually even have a stab at repairing. I'm not even positive there is a coil in there. This is kind of like a plasticky membrane, and I've seen like really cheap toys, like an electric football game with a talking record player that had a microphone that was basically kind of just, again, like a membrane that was funnel shaped. And I think that's similar to this, and I'm assuming this is glued on this metal thing. There may be nothing in there, but I don't think I can get that membrane off without totally cutting it, and I am flummoxed about what to do at this point. It is puzzling that this one has no connection, but it's not like there's a broken wire that's loose or there's even any soldering on it. It makes no sense to me. So what's puzzling is, I said one of these prongs seems to be connected to nothing. But here inside, which is where it plugs in, you can see that there's connections to all three prongs. I think I'm at a standstill here. I did some testing of continuity, and it seems like it in general is okay. Still have that question about whether there should be kind of conductivity across those two screws inside, but I don't want to open that thing up because I may be looking for something that isn't actually supposed to happen, so I could just break it for no reason. So my knowledge base really is limited. The microphone comes in here, and then it immediately connects to, again, capacitors, what have you. It goes back into here, into some tubes and things like that, and I just don't know what I'm doing, and all I could do at this point is really harm. I think I've checked everything kind of from a mechanical conductivity standpoint that I have knowledge of, limited as it might be. So I think that unfortunately I'm going to put this thing back together. When you're reassembling and putting this plate on, look carefully. There's two shorter screws, and the two shorter screws go in the front. The longer screws obviously then go in the back. So I have it reassembled, and as you can tell, it's working fine in terms of play. I did try recording something again. Sometimes these things, cure themselves as you mess with them, and somehow you touch something or move something around and you get it working again. It did not. So this works, plays, rewinds, but it does not record. But it's a really cool find, and I'm glad that I tried getting it working. This thing is working better. You can see it going up and down nice and easy in a very rhythmical way. So that was at least an improvement. I just couldn't fix the record function. So I will need to let someone wiser than me try to fix this and make it better. Thoughts or questions are much appreciated down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and please consider subscribing.